Hello everyone. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then subscribe to this channel. The life and tradition of Karl Marx, brought into the world on May 5, 1818, in Trier, Prussia, presently Germany, is quite possibly of the most persuasive and dubious figure in current history. His thoughts, explained in works like The Socialist Pronouncement, 1848, and Das Kapital, 1867, have significantly formed political hypotheses, financial aspects, and social developments. Marx's study of private enterprise and his vision for an uncouth society have ignited extraordinary discussions and progressive developments around the world, passing on an inheritance that keeps on influencing worldwide legislative issues and belief system. Early life, Karl Marx was naturally introduced to a working-class family. His dad, Heinrich Marx, was a legal counselor and a liberal who energized Karl's schooling. Marx's initial years were set apart by areas of strength for a climate. He was knowledgeable and showed an early fitness for learning. In 1835, he started concentrating on regulation at the College of Bonn, yet moved to the College of Berlin in 1836, where he became engaged with the youthful Hegelians, a gathering of revolutionary masterminds who were reproachful of the current political and strict establishments. At Berlin, Marx drenched himself in progress of George Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel and his supporters, investigating theory, history, and legislative issues. Marx's doctoral exposition, which he finished in 1841, was named The Distinction Between the Democratian and Luxurious Way of Thinking of Nature. Albeit not generally perused at that point, it denoted the start of Marx's basic commitment with realist reasoning. Early profession. In the wake of finishing his examinations, Marx functioned as a writer and proofreader for different distributions, including the Rheinische Zeitung, Rhenish News, where he acquired a standing as an extreme mastermind. His newscasting frequently centered around political and social issues, scrutinizing the treacheries of the Prussian state and supporting for majority rule changes. His work drew the consideration of the specialists, and in 1843, the Prussian government prohibited the Rheinische Zeitung, provoking Marx to move to Paris. In Paris, Marx met Friedrich Engels, an individual progressive mastermind who might turn into his nearby partner and companion. Engels was from a well-off modern family and shared Marx's evaluate of free enterprise. Together, they started creating thoughts that would turn into the underpinning of communist hypothesis. Their cooperation was instrumental in molding how they might interpret verifiable realism and the evaluate of political economy. The Socialist Statement and Political Activism, Marx and Engels' most popular joint work, The Socialist Pronouncement, was distributed in 1848. The statement required the defeat of entrepreneurs' social orders and the foundation of a socialist society where the method for creation would be by and large possessed. It broadly opens with the line, "A phantom is tormenting Europe, the ghost of socialism." The declaration frames the hypothesis of verifiable realism, which places that set of experiences is driven by class battles and financial powers. The distribution of the socialist statement corresponded with a progression of upheavals across Europe in 1848, known as the Transformations of 1848 or the Springtime of Countries. Albeit these uprisings were to a great extent fruitless in laying out enduring popularity-based transform, they denoted a huge second in the ascent of communist and socialist developments. Following the upheavals, Marx and Engels confronted expanded suppression and had to move a few times. Marx got comfortable London in 1849, where he would spend the rest of his life. In London, Marx proceeded with his work as a columnist and dissident, while likewise committing himself to fostering his financial speculations. Das Kapital and Monetary, Marx's showstopper, Das Kapital, volume I distributed in 1867, is one of the most persuasive works of monetary hypothesis. In this extensive study of political economy, Marx dissects the entrepreneur framework, zeroing in on how worth is made and the way things are circulated. He presents key ideas, for example, excess worth, which is the contrast between the worth created by work and the wages paid to laborers. Marx contends that free enterprise innately takes advantage of laborers by separating excess worth, prompting financial imbalance and class struggle. Das Kapital additionally investigates the elements of capital aggregation, the grouping of riches, and the recurrent idea of monetary emergencies. Marx's examination of free enterprise's logical inconsistencies and its propensity toward emergency stays persuasive in contemporary financial and political talk. Marx's work on political economy was profoundly interlaced with his philosophical and authentic speculations. His thoughts regarding the connection between the monetary base and the philosophical superstructure. How financial circumstances shape political and social establishments are key to communist hypothesis. Later life. Marx's later years were set apart by monetary challenges and individual battles. Regardless of his huge commitments to political hypothesis and financial aspects, Marx confronted monetary difficulty and frequently depended on Engels for help. His well-being decayed, and he invested quite a bit of his energy in the English gallery, leading exploration and composing. In 1883, Karl Marx kicked the bucket in London at 64 years old. His heritage was conveyed forward by Engels and other communist scholars, who proceeded to create and decipher his thoughts. Engels distributed Enemy of During, 1878, and Communism, Idealistic and Logical, 1880, which developed communist hypothesis and further reprimanded other communist teachings. Marx's thoughts significantly impacted the advancement of communist and socialist developments all over the planet. The Russian transformation of 1917, the ascent of communist-Leninist states, and the spread of socialist coalitions internationally were undeniably molded by Marx's speculations. Communism additionally motivated different progressive developments and communist state-run administrations, impacting political, financial, and social approaches in various nations. Notwithstanding, Marx's thoughts have additionally been the subject of broad analysis and discussion. Pundits contend that Marx's forecasts about the unavoidable breakdown of private enterprise and the ascent of socialism have not emerged as he imagined. The 20th century saw huge varieties of communist hypothesis and practice, some of which veered off from Marx's unique thoughts, prompting fluctuated translations and executions of communist standards. Karl Marx's scholarly commitments and progressive thoughts have made a permanent imprint on the cutting-edge world. His examination of private enterprise, class battle, and verifiable realism keeps on being a significant impact in political hypothesis, financial matters, and sociology. Marx's work has enlivened developments for civil rights, financial fairness, and political change, and his investigate of free enterprise stays a useful asset for understanding and tending to the intricacies of present-day culture. Notwithstanding the contentions and difficulties related with his heritage, Karl Marx stays a transcending figure throughout the entire existence of political idea and social hypothesis. Thank you for watching.